So the land here is roughly split into two. On one half we've got like flat grassland, and on the other side we've got what Kiwis would call bush. This isn't native forest, it hasn't been here for hundreds of years. This is what probably was farmland at some point that was grazed by cattle, and since it's been left for the past 10-20 years, this is what happens. All of this grows back. I've planted about 50 fruit trees into these banks that run around the property, and the soil isn't very good. There's a lot of clay and there's not much nutritional value, and I'm trying to kind of create that, I guess, by putting in wood chip, planting comfrey and all of this sort of stuff. And it suddenly dawned on me, you're doing all of this trying to create a kind of forest-like environment on the grass when you've got an actual forest right there. I'm not really sure what stopped me planting into this area before. I think that it's that I somehow consider this nature. This is what you can't touch and you must leave. And this garden bit, that's sort of a man-made thing and you can play with that to your heart's content. But it's not like this is, native bush. There's all sorts of stuff in here. And the soil quality beneath this is unbelievable, because this is like one giant compost machine that's just been, wood's been rotting and falling onto the forest floor, and it's full of nutrients, and it's going to be probably a really, really good place to grow some trees. So here's the plan. I thought I would chop back some of the sort of scrubby bush looking stuff that's dying or not looking too happy. That'll allow some more light in. And then I borrowed a wood chipper from a neighbour. I'll put it through the wood chipper, which will give me some mulch, and I will plant a few trees into that. That's the idea. It's potentially a stupid idea. I don't know. But let's find out. Could be the beginnings of a beautiful food forest. This is absolutely my favourite new tool. It's New Zealand's answer to a machete. It's called a slasher, and it's perfect for this kind of thing. Tiring though. You know those projects you start and you think, this wasn't such a good idea. This is one of those. Turns out it's a lot of work. That probably seems obvious when you're watching this, but I kind of thought, I'll just come down here and I'll throw everything in the chipper and it'll all miraculously turn into wood chip. I'll have loads of wood chip for the garden and I'll have lots of space to plant trees. It hasn't really worked out like that. It's just quite hard cutting through all this brushy sort of stuff, and two, the chipper does take a long time. It's not like, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just that you've got to feed all of that wood through, and it's just so much work. I'm covered in sweat. The other thing is, this stuff is going to grow back at an unbelievable speed. Stuff grows here really fast, and we're about to go, well, we're in the middle of winter, but it won't be long before it's spring, and then this stuff's just going to shoot up like absolute, it'll just go completely crazy, because that's what happens here. The only way to prevent that is if I've really got a lot of stuff in the ground that's going to shade out that, and they'll be sort of competing with one another. This feels like a bit of a stupid project at the moment. wasn't too bad, I guess. I do feel a little bit like some kind of Brazilian farmer hacking down at the the rainforest. It doesn't feel great to leave this huge mess here. But once I've got some banana trees planted in here and a few other fruit trees, it should start to look a bit better. And all the stuff I cut down, it was a bit of a mess anyway. It was sort of like half dead, and then a lot of it kind of falls into something that's growing, and then it doesn't do particularly well. So it needed to be cleared out for a little bit of space anyway. It'll also give the punga tree and the cabbage tree a little bit more space to grow. So yeah, I'm still not 100% convinced whether this is a great idea, but time will tell. Just removing all these tags. It's one of those things that if you leave these on, amazingly, just something like that can actually ruin the tree, just ring bark it. Anyway, that's a Japanese raisin. I mean, you can tell already just from shifting some of that undergrowth, a lot more light's getting in here. So that should do all right. These things grow pretty big, but we'll see how we get on with that. I've also got a banana just here, and we've got a macadamia over there. So it'll be interesting. We'll see how this little lot does. Overall, I think that was a good idea. Cutting down some of this brush has given me some more space, and the plants will do well here because the soil is amazing. I'm not so sure about the chipper though. I've always wanted to have a go with one, but it's actually really noisy and it takes a long time and it's a lot of hard work. I don't know if I'd do that again. I mean, this tree here is a lemonade, and all I did was I just chopped some of the sort of surrounding brush and just put it in. I'll show you. I mean, this is, you know, I've just left it rough, chopped it up like that. It will rot down over time, you know? It's like, I'm not sure you really need a giant machine with a petrol engine like churning and making all that noise when you can just throw it on the floor. So I don't think I'll do the chipper again. Interesting to give it a go, I suppose, but yeah, definitely wouldn't buy one of those. All right, that's it for this week. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week.